me tell you this, if the devil had a twin, that was it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. So glad to see you guys again. This will be a special video. I have decided to do a series on girl chat, a bunch of different videos talking about all things hormones, sex, how to be more sexy in the bedroom for all my married ladies out there. So if that interests you and you would love to see content like that, keep watching. A full disclaimer, if this is not something that you are interested in, if you do not care, then please feel free to log off. This is a judgment-free zone, so I want all of my ladies to feel free to be able to be themselves and talk about all the stuff that women go through. I have inserted a timestamp right here for you so you can follow along. If you would like to skip through, go ahead, do as you please. For this episode, we're going to talk about all things hormones, like why. There is this time in my life where I felt like I really wanted to talk to Eve, like just ask her, like, why did you have to eat the apple? Like, do you know what you did to my body? You know how bad my cramps are? These are just questions like I just want to ask her. I feel like when I get to heaven, I have questions for girlfriend. Like, I have questions for her. So I'm gonna start by telling you guys all about the birth control I was on. As you can see on my arm, I have a bandage there because I was previously on Nexplanon. I believe it's Nexplanon. They insert the little tube in your arm. Yeah, I had that. The procedure only took about 15 minutes and they numbed me up really quick in 2 different spots, made an incision and just stuck the tube in there. I didn't really pay attention to anything that was going on. I just wanted the thing in there. Terrence went with me and he was a very good support system. He said that the procedure was the most gruesome thing he's ever saw. He said there was blood shooting out everywhere. I don't know. I wasn't looking. I knew after I got this birth control, I didn't have to worry about taking a pill and I would be able just to get busy when I was ready. I did this strategically before I got married because of the time frame that the doctor said that I would need was 5 months until my period would go away. Everyone's body's different, so just because your period might have went away after 5 months doesn't mean mine's was gonna go away. And I wish that I did more research on this. I really didn't. I just went for it. I didn't want to see any horror stories on YouTube. I didn't want to be talked out of this situation because I really just wanted what I wanted. Let's get into the side effects of this implant. Weight gain. Now, I know people, there's like this big argument about weight gain and whether birth control makes you gain weight. I don't believe it necessarily makes you gain weight, but I do believe that it makes you want to eat more, especially when it's your time of the month. It was like I wanted to eat everything. I seen like a big delicious burrito, like I just wanted to devour it. My main thing was Panda Express. For some reason I always crave Panda Express and I love the Beijing beef and the honey walnut shrimp. Like, it's just so good. Like, I wanted everything salty and savory. That's where that extra 10 pounds came from because I wasn't eating like that before. I was really good with just making sure that my portions were good and all of that stuff. But when I went on this birth control, all of that went out the window. I started to retain water weight. I used to work out almost like every day, like 5 days a week. And I just, for some reason, I could not stop my bloating. And I did some research finally and realized that when you're on birth control, you hold a lot more water, especially when it's your time of the month. So a lot of this stuff made sense and I realized that maybe I put myself in a situation that I didn't know that I wasn't ready for. Getting into the night sweats. I would literally go to sleep completely dry, wake up in the morning and be drenched in sweat. Like my pillowcase was drenched in sweat, my shirt was drenched, my edges, girl, my edges, my baby hairs were like all messed up because I was sweating all night. Didn't know why until I talked to my mom and she was like, well, it could just be all the hormones you have, and depending on the estrogen dose. So what I understand is there's a high dose and then there's a low dose and then there's a medium dose. The implant had a really low dose. Pretty much my hormones were out of whack. They didn't know what they were doing. So it's almost like I was going through like a mini menopause. That's from my understanding. Don't quote me on that. Do your own research. But that's what I was told. That really scared me because I was just like, I am only 23. Like, this is not something that I should be going through. My husband would complain about it. He'd be like, babe, like, why are you sweating? Like, what's going on? Do I need to open a window? Even when the windows were open, like, I would still be sweating. It was not cute. Let me just let you know, like, that's not sexy when you were trying to cuddle with your man and you got sweat all over your back. It's not sexy. Then came the irregular period. One day I have a period, one day I don't. One week I don't have a period, the next week I do. It was awful. I never knew how many tampons to bring. Trust me, when you're trying to get sexy with your man and you're trying to get it on and all of a sudden you see blood, that is not cute and you don't want to do anything. It's miserable. Like, I just did not like the element of surprise. Mind you, I was a newlywed, so I was just on edge. I was not happy. Mood swings. So the mood swings were terrible. I always felt like I needed a Snickers. Was that funny? No. Okay. It just wasn't fun. Like, I would get mad over the littlest things. Like, it could be like Terrence would make a sandwich and maybe like leave like 2 crumbs on the counter and I would just go berserk. Like, I don't know, it's just like I seen red. He was just like, babe, are you okay? Like, why are you so on edge about everything? And I couldn't explain why. I didn't know it was the birth control. I just thought maybe I was just upset. I was stressed out because I had just moved to a new city, I was going to a new church, I was newly married in a new apartment trying to live with this human, and I have never lived with him before. So I'm just like, you know, this is not working. Like, is it you? Like, what do I need to do? Is it, I think it's you. That's what I told him. I was like, I think it's you. But that just went on for at least almost a year and a half of me just being like super moody. Then it came the depression. So I was really feeling depressed towards the almost the 2-year mark. I was feeling very depressed, very suicidal. I did not want to live. And I know this might be deep for some people, but that is really what I was experiencing on this implant. I didn't want to get up in the morning. I didn't want to go to work, didn't want to go to school, didn't want to text anyone, talk to my friends. I barely wanted to be around my husband. I was just so moody, and I realized, like, this is not me. Like, I should not be feeling like this. I shouldn't feel like I want to end my life, and I knew that there was something wrong. That is when I decided to start doing more research on what the implant was, what it did, how my body was reacting to it, and that is when I found all of these horror stories on YouTube about how they hated the implant, how the implant ruined their sex drive. They were dry, they weren't as moist, you know, when you're having sex and it's just a little rough. That is what I was experiencing. Mood swings, depression, irregular periods, like everything that I was experiencing, these other women were experiencing. So I knew that I wasn't alone, and I knew that there was something that I could do about it. So I decided to make an appointment and call my doctor and get this implant removed. That was about 2 days ago. So this is a fresh band-aid. I am now implant free, and I'm so excited to be done with that thing. Like, if the devil, let me tell you this, if the devil had a twin, that was it. Now, I know everybody's experience with this is different. If you have a good experience, I would definitely want to hear that. If I was giving you this advice as my girlfriend and you were asking me like, hey girl, what birth control should I try? Now, I would say no. By all means, do not get the implant. Do not. Like, big red sign, no, stop, don't do it, girl. The experience that I went through, I did not like it. I hated it. I was miserable, and it just wasn't a good time for me. But if you're like, well, I want to try it, then go ahead, try it. Everyone is entitled to their own experience. By all means, do what you have to do for your body. For me, I would never do the implant again. I have done birth control pills before in the past, so that is what I'm deciding to go back on. Honestly, down the line, I just kind of want to go on the whole organic, no type of birth control. Just let everything be natural, just let it flow, because honestly, these birth controls like really mess you up. Like, it's messing up with your hormones, and it's just stirring stuff up. You don't want your hormones all over the place. I just didn't have the eagerness to have sex. For your husband, you know, he's not gonna like that. Now I'm really focused on how I'm gonna feel after. So it's only been a couple of days, so I have, you know, some time to go. I'm just really curious and excited to see how my body changes, because this is my temple, you know? Like, I wanna take care of it, and I want to do the things that God designed me to do. That is all I have to say about this thing that I don't want it anymore. I'm done with it. If you guys have had good experience with birth controls, please let me know in the comments, and let me know what other ones have you tried, what was your experience with it. If you guys enjoyed this video and you like content like this, don't forget to like this video and go ahead and subscribe and join the family. I would love to get to know you. You guys can also follow me on Instagram if you would like, and see my day-to-day life. And yeah, I will